That sits really freaking well in there. I won't lie, this is freaking super nerve-wracking.
There's a little bit of a pickle.
They look freaking amazing. Check it out. You remember the old panel that used to be in there? It's out and closed up this morning. So what we did is just cut out a piece of fiberglass, same way as we've closed up the back. If you haven't seen that episode, how we closed up the lazarette section, you can have a look at it. So we just cut a piece of fiberglass, then I run the glass right over from the top to the bottom, and I run 3 layers, just one overlapping. So the first layer is a little short and then the other 2 are long, and then obviously because it's grinded down, it's roughly on the same level or just slightly lower than that, and I'll sand it now down to match the same level. Epoxy fairing over that, and then prime and paint. This side too, that's where the new cavity is for the new controls. I just got to fill in a little bit of material in there, but that's where the old control used to be. That's closed up, and now the top here is where the new one's going to fit in. I just got to fair that in nicely, and then we pretty much prime and paint, and there's a peel ply coming off. See that what's it look like before, it looks like afterwards, and I'll just fair that, or sand it, fair it, just sand it just to get rid of the high spots, then fair it nicely, and prime and paint. There's the back section still waiting between these floors. Back section's also waiting to get finished up, but at the moment I want to get these 2 babies in. That's plus side. I also got Jerry giving me a hand a little bit, so 2 of us working, we can get it kicked out twice as fast. Did all the marking out of the beds at night, as you guys saw, or the holes. And so now between today I've been marking up these and grinding these and cutting them to size, and Jerry's been grinding and prepping the holes. So with both of us running at the same time, things are a lot faster. We fit sail drives today to check that everything's fine before the beds go in, just to make sure that we're on alignment and that our prop clearance is perfect from the hull. The rule of thumb, for those of you that don't know, it's a hull clearance, which is the distance from the top of the blade to the hull, to the bottom of the hull, must be 10% of the diameter of the blade. Like in our instance, we run a 1611. That means you need to do 410 mils, I think. So it needs to be 42 clearance. I'm working on a 50 mil clearance just to have a little bit more leeway there. But we're going to push for a little bit more. We'll see how low can we get the engine beds down. That sits really freaking well in there. The only problem we got is I need to grind around that area more. I need to get rid of all that pull coat or gel coat. There can't be any pull coat at all. So that I still need to do, but she fits like a freaking glove. I mean, that such a good taper fit. She fits very, very well. I'm super stoked with that. It's going to be very nice. Got good clearance for the engine. She comes at, we got about 100. She's going to come about up to here, so we still got a bit of space there. Very, very nice. So happy, so chuffed. I won't lie, I'm pretty nervous. I got to cut a big freaking hole in my boat. Show you the size of the hole that needs to be. So that inner marking is what I need to cut out, literally. I've marked it a few times, I've checked it a few more times just to make quadruple sure, and now we need to cut it out. You can't get your engines in unless you make a hole, so let's do it. So we've got the holes, first 4 holes are in, and now we've got the lines. We're going to cut it out with the grinder. I won't lie, this is freaking super nerve-wracking cutting our holes in there, but let's get it done.
It's day 2 of engine installation, and this place is an absolute mess. There's dust literally everywhere. You just walk and your clothes are ruined. Ricky's researching the SD10 sail drive. We're gonna fit it because there's a little bit of a pickle. What's the pickle, honey?
When you put the sail drives in, according to the manual, you got to come in at an angle so they lean backwards like that, and then you put it in the hole and you go in, because obviously you don't want to open the hole to the same diameter as what the frame has there. But now I don't have enough angle at the back to lean it like that, so now I'm trying to speak to the ZF guys this morning and see if I can split the lower unit from the reduction head, and then see if I can put the lower in unit and then just put the reduction head on top and bolt it back together, and that's how she'll go in and out. Obviously saw someone else loosening one of the bolts and then it turns the power head, but I don't think that's going to happen with ours. But before I take any bolts in that off, I want to phone ZF and chat to the guys at Vitas and make sure that I'm covered if I do that. We figured out a way to get our sail drives in. They're fitting and it looks freaking awesome. All I gotta do now is I'm gonna mark right around the frame to make sure that when we remove this now to bond it in, that the tabbings go precisely where our markings are. So we get it marked down and then get the gearbox off. So we bolted it down, we went outside, checked that all our measurements are perfect, that they're straight and obviously thrusting straight backwards. And then what was the other thing that we checked for? Oh, then with that distances so that they're both precisely lined up. And everything looks good, level, perfect. So we're ready to rock and roll. This is bonding time. So gearbox is out now again. The base is out. Put a bit of bonding in the areas that we wanted to bond. Put it in. Go with our marks that we've marked right around. We mark everywhere and make sure that those line up. Put the gearboxes back in and we let it sit like that. It's going to take about 2.5–3 hours for that bonding to hold on, and then we'll come in and we'll start tabbing everywhere. So that's the markings that I was talking about. Those lines ensure that when we put it back, that the bonding lines up exactly with those marks. Got ones there, and over here. So there's 4 of them, and then there's a line drawn right around the engine. See there? Drawn right around. Make sure that we follow up exactly on those lines. So with Ultra Bond bonding paste, that's where we're going to bond the bed onto, and it's also going to allow it to stay in place. And then once that cures, then we'll start the tabbing after that. And this is for the underside, so we won't be tabbing over this. It's just going to hold different areas, so it's going to hold it in place, and where she is exposed, we'll just sand back there and then we'll tab again.
So there's a hole in our hole, as you can see, for our sail drive, and we just close it up with paper, or not paper, plastic, because it's flipping raining cats and dogs now. So yeah, but this has been bonded in. It just needs to be fiberglassed around, and Jerry and Ricky are busy on the other one, busy fiberglassing it.
Ricky fiberglassed the engine beds in using 6 layers of 600-gram biaxial.
And we've got the first bed completely tabbed in. The base is in nicely. Everything's tabbed in really well. And obviously the most important, that bloody hole. It's looking good. It's done. First bed in. All we gotta do is tomorrow is take off all the peel ply, give it a little bit of sand here and there when it's necessary, and apply pool coat. So this is what the hole looks like the next day after we remove the peel ply. There's a bit of excess there, but what we had to do is we had to cover it up with plastic that we can keep the humidity out. Close this area because we heated it up a little bit. And the peel ply is here too. Start peeling this off. Looking very, very nice. I'm so happy with that. Very pleased. We did double layers of 4, so 4 on 4, and we also ran some that way and most of it that way. And yeah, I'm very pleased. Gonna run a fillet in there, so just to stiffen up that bond between the two, but there's a lot of glass in there, actually double of what the recommendation is. And so I just want to keep it to, the reason why I went so thick with the glass is so that these holes are very thick, so I want the flex between this and this to be very close to one another. I don't want this to flex more than that, because obviously then we'll create a stress area over there, so I don't want that to happen. I'm going to run some nice fillets in here of bonding, and what that will do is just allow for less stress concentrations on those particular areas. We'll trim all of this nicely with the sander, 40 grit, and sand everything down, and then, not that it needs, I mean that's pretty, there's only one shiny spot over there. Sand it all down, then run a pool coat, sand that, epoxy prime, and then anti-foul also in there, so reduce a little bit of growth and whatnot.
You can make necklaces with the resin that you have left over, you see.
And the second bed is in. Take off that peel ply to get rid of the wax from the resin. Also helps us get that smooth finish. Looks very nice. Beautiful. And take off all the peel ply around here, and then prep to put pool coat on top. The engine beds are in. We're going to put the flow coat today. It's a nice warm day. We're going to flow coat everything right through to there and to there. So that's all going to get new flow coat. That's all been sanded down right up to that edge there. So we'll just tape off there. We'll put the new flow coat in. It's going to look good. Step 1, engine beds done, both sides. Coming outside over here, we've got everything open. The floor's gone.
We also flow coated our lacerate floor and our new engine bays.
It's been a freaking insane day. Sorry we couldn't film a lot of this stuff, but we're a little bit short-handed. But both the beds are in, both engine beds in. Flow coat's done. They look freaking amazing. Check at that. Boat was built with them in. Perfectly cut. Good to go. Same on the other side. The boat's just a mess with everything everywhere. Dust everywhere. That one's in too. Had to do a cutout on that shelf to get that sail drive in. And check our new lazarette setup. That's all newly flow coated. Epoxy on there, and on there, and on there. So tomorrow we sand, get it smooth, prime, top coat, install controls, install the gauges. Probably gonna go one on top of the other over there, and done. Put the engines in. One step closer, really close now. Tired, but feeling pumped.
If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up and subscribe below if you haven't already. If you want to support our production, you can click on any of the links in the description below. Have an awesome week.
Why is it so hard when there's old scars? Take another turn with me.